are. But I think his policies are going to be very decisive. I think he's going to target inflation. It is the great unstated message of the Indian election that inflation was destroying the welfare of the overwhelming majority of Indians, running well above 10%. That's going to be an immediate task. Second, I think he's going to focus on growth in some predictable ways, mobilizing both public and private savings to focus on on infrastructure. I think he's going to, by self-statement, is going to focus on agriculture as an area that has large-scale voter appeal. I don't see him plunging more deeply into the schemes that the UPA government did, but I don't think he's going to be able to wipe them away. He won't be seeking to expand them, but I don't think India can walk away from its commitments to equity through government distribution entirely. But his focus is going to be rhetorically with the states on growth, and the engines of growth are going to be investment in infrastructure and agriculture.
Bobby, what's your view on the economic outlook?
Well, I'm not entirely persuaded that he has strong ideas in terms of economic policy. I think he ran on a platform of efficiency, decisiveness and efficiency, rather than on a substantially different economic view of or view of what India's economy should be. I've always maintained that the BJP is right of Congress in social policy, but when it comes to economic policy, it's not that different. The Congress too talks about agriculture being a focus. The Congress too talks about when Indian politicians talk about big infrastructure projects to create jobs, they're not talking about the private sector. They usually mean public sector investment. And I think he will try to do all those things. The question is, can he do this with more efficiency and with less corruption, sort of sucking out a lot of the money that is put into the system? Those are the two real questions, and I think that's what and fortunately for him, fortunately may not be the right word, conveniently for him, the system is so corrupt at this point that relatively small gains in that area could lead to quite substantial benefits down the line.
I believe that's the right instinct. But having said that, I believe Modi will be up against the same challenges that India has been up against over recent years. There are three notable ones: China, Pakistan, and the aftermath of the Afghan war. Now, Modi's instinct will be to give economics priority in India, and he will look at his economic policies internationally as one guidepost. But he can't escape those three big issues.
The country where I think he's going to strengthen the relationship most is of Japan, because it kills three birds with one stone. One on the economy. Japan is really petrified of China, and now serious investments are on the anvil. And it's exactly of the type that Modi loves, which is infrastructure. So the Delhi-Mumbai infrastructure corridor, the Bangalore-Chennai corridor, which is where I think in this decade we're going to see very large Japanese investments. And of course, the two countries a closer relationship, which will, I think, extend to some defense matters. There is a common reason.
I think you'll also see, and we've already heard this from the BJP foreign policy elite, such as they are, that on the security side, Israel is a very important part of their thinking. When India and again, as I said earlier, just as the BJP doesn't have significantly different economic policy positions from the Congress, in foreign policy the gap is even narrower. It's hard to see any daylight between them. It's mostly in the execution rather than in the philosophical approach to the world. But I think strategically Israel is a partner that relationship has been growing, and I think you'll see that continue to happen. Anti-terrorism sort of cooperation will get stronger as Afghanistan unravels, as I'm confident it will. And if there's more adventurism on the border with Pakistan, then that's another area where Israel can help India greatly.